Hi, welcome to another video on my fischertechnik monorail, which I extended and kind of improved last time. It is controlled by the fischertechnik robot interface and the BeagleBoard Classic, which runs Linux. Last time I ended up with connecting these two parts. So this part with this connection to that part, and I still have to improve this part, so let's start with that. It's not very much of an issue, but the better they are connected, the stabler it becomes. So let's try to improve it this way. This doesn't really seem to work, but I really want to connect them. There you go. Finally. However, as turned out very quickly last time, this part is way too flexible right now, and I think I can solve that by adding this kind of thing here as well. So that is exactly what I am going to do. So let's see how it works out. And now I have to connect it here somehow. Which I can only do with something like this here. So I guess I need a brake like this, or a part like this with two notches, and a part like this here as well. Although I'm not quite sure how this will end up. If I put this here, I have a problem connecting these two, so it won't be that easy. It's anyway already different than here, so how this will end up, I can't tell just yet. Maybe like this. and something in between here. So that might help. So I still need to fix it here, but then I guess this is much more stabler. So with this part, let's see how this can be stabilized, if it works out. Alright, that certainly is connected. The question now is, how is this going to work? It looks like better. And if I put this a little bit down, would it be more horizontal? Let's move the carriage, and that is, as you can see, let me move it like this. This is still a problem. So, apart from that, there's still a wire here, and last time it proved that it easily knocks off this lens cap by the propeller. So let me move this part right here in an attempt to get the wire out of the way. This wire should run free any way possible, and it doesn't look like it does now. So let me try to fix that. Alright. Get it under from the wire, put it here. So now at least this carriage can run free as it is allowed right now. So with that done for now, let's see how it actually runs. I also have to adjust the software here, because it is still set to 5 centimeters from here, and then when this is signaled, it runs the other way. So that is a problem. But for now, let's concentrate on this part, and let's see how this works out. Alright. And I already see what is happening. The sonar totally takes over and rules it. apart from that, all the shaking also takes off the hanging. So that is not a very good idea either. I guess I finally need to reconstruct this part as well. It is sliding out because of the forces on it from the propeller and the rocking. So apart from the programming, I should do something about this as well. So with the current experiences in behavior, it is more than time to look at the code. And right now the conditions are sonar larger than 5 and T-digital 8, which is the second light sensor, is 1. Go clockwise. If the sonar is smaller or equal than 5, go clockwise. If light sensor is 0, go left. What is not yet in this code, of course, is the middle line sensor, light sensor, which is T-digital 7. And to remember which way I go, I should introduce a state. So if I reach T-digital 8, I go in the state left, and when I have reached the sonar, I go in the state right. So I start by setting a state. I don't need to initialize this because this is Python, and let's say another point is, of course, that the question is, should I keep the sonar here in place? Actually, I don't think so. I should just turn this around. Use the sonar as a turnaround, the same as I do it with the light sensor. So let's try that. Let's put it here. If T digital 8, yes. If this is smaller than, let's say, 2 or 3, because 5 centimeters is quite a distance actually, and then I want it to go the other way, but I have to put a status in here. So direction status is left, or is yeah, let's just see if this works out, and then status is right. And then I could say here, if T digital 7 and here if direction status this is a point, I better say 0 and here 1, for the reason that I can just use a boolean value of this. So now I can say if this is true, and so if their status is true, T set the motor to continue left at 7 and sleep 1. That should do it. If it works, we can only find out. So let's see how this works out. If it works out. First run it, see if there's no errors. No errors yet. However, this I changed to right because it doesn't run. And that's still an oops. So I need to look a bit further. And then I realize I make a small timing mistake, because the turnaround time that I notice is not just the distance to the sonar, it's also the sleeping time. So when I change this to 2 seconds, let's then see what happens. If anything. Nothing much. Try again. Alright. It can last further, but let's go to 3 seconds. Now we go further, but it derails. It derails. So that is one thing. And let me change this back to 5 seconds or 5 centimeter. However, it certainly derails at the moment. It comes to the suspension, the support. So that is certainly an issue I need to solve. Apart from that, does it actually does the light actually work? So I open the interface. Yes, and then I need digital interface. No, motor, which is I think motor M2, but I'll find it out soon enough. That is not happening. Where is this motor located at? That is a very good question. I just have to try, I'm afraid. And so far I find no use. The lamp is put on, let me take this one, T-Digital 7, but which motor is it? Set motor, no, this is the real motor. Set output 5, so that would be this one. And this is not doing anything, so not quite sure what is wrong. But I do know that something isn't working. Once again, this is lens lamp 5, output 5. I have to check a wire or something. Alright, let's do that. Alright, I noticed that the wires are alright, but I also noticed something else. Writing to the interface. So when I quit the interface, I start it again, opening. Alright, and now looking at the code, output 5, and let's see whether it is 5. It should be doing something at least. But so far not even a spark. That's really odd. So when I use this one, I should get it anyway, but I don't. This is the motor of the carriage. And these, this is output 7, input 7. Very good. And yes, that is the new light. So that is on motor 4 number 1. If I count, then it is 7, output 7, really 07. and then this should be output 5. This is the motor again. This means that I have apparently a problem with the furthest light, because the middle light simply works. Yep, that certainly works. So I close the interface for now. And knowing that which one it is, I should say if the status and if not their status. And the sleeping command will be a tricky one. Because how long will you let it sleep? How long does it take to reach the other sensor? And I think here sleep 3 is indeed 3 seconds timing. So here I should say if not their status, which is to the left side, I put it to the right, but we'll see in experimental way how that ends up. That means that here I set the control lamp, I set the motor in that direction, I also set it to 3 seconds, and I say the status becomes 0 and no semicolon because this is Python. Alright, this is as far as coding goes. Let's check the software again. And that's a problem as well. But I better show you on camera what the problem exactly is. So far, this much for the code. Yeah, let's check. So what I want to show you is the behavior of this carriage in this position. Keep in mind it is 3 seconds. Now it walks nicely, it goes back, but it doesn't always respond to that in that way. For instance, as I take this, it doesn't go as far. Now also there's no 3 seconds, it lasts longer. Here as well, now it derails because it reaches it in 3 seconds and it goes back. So in this case, how do I solve this? I hold it back and now I will just let it go. And it derails completely. So that is a serious problem that I absolutely need to solve. And not just that, not just that problem I need to solve, I need to solve this construction as well. Furthermore, in the past it had something like a sinusoid swing when it came from here, and I solved that by, let me re-put the cam a little bit, this is better, and I solved it by putting this construction. So the cone of the propeller is caught in here, and then instead of swinging back, it goes straight back. However, looking at this point, it has some swinging over it, and then you already see what happens with the propeller. It completely touches here, and that is obviously not the intention. So the question is how to solve that. Right now this construction is better. Now the mystery is, of course, why is this lamp not working anymore? Is it because of the lamp? I can still try it. So I open the interface again, and I will show first this light. That is to say, which is odd again. It used to work, and now it doesn't do anything anymore. So that is an oddity, and maybe I should check the wiring on the interface. It is a little bit cluttered, so maybe that's the point. Anyway, well, let's see. Yes, you can see on my fingers that this works, and that when I use the other one, it doesn't do anything. Nor with this, nor with this. I put them all on now, and there's nothing. So, enough to do for next time. Thank you for watching, and certainly to be continued. Please also take a look at my Instagram for pictures, and take a look at my website.